Alrighty, there we go. Note the time. It's 9:19. So at 9, so let's just say it's 9:20. Right somewhere's around 10. I want to stop this tape, okay? So I'm going to add a layer for now, and move you out of the way. I'm going to change this to black. Do you understand about 100% black and 100% white? Okay. And you know how to get 100%, right? No. Okay, I'm going to do it. Right here in the corner, you see how the shade on here, you can change your shade here or on here? Well, right here on the corner will always be black, okay? But you see the second one, it says 2? Put your arrow right next to the edge and you'll be 100. Right over here on the very edge is always going to be white. No matter where you go, it'll always be white right here on the corner. Click it. Right down here it says 98 on the third one. Go to the very edge and you're 100%. Okay? So that's what we want is 100% black and 100% white, because if we put blending in here and we have any shade of gray, blending is going to turn your fit into, you'll have this transparent layer over the top of your fit that will probably be like a blackish dark shadow, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to go to my black. We're not going to have any legs in our fit, so I'm going to black out our legs, but we might want a collar. Let me see. No, we don't want a collar in the underwear. So I'm going to black out our legs. Okay? And then I'm going to add another layer over the top of that. And I'm going to open up. Did you make a pair of underwear? Okay. You should have had to have made a pair of underwear for anything you made for Sarai. Okay. And you saved those, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to underwear, MCG, and I blacked out the bra on one of my pairs. Is that it or not? Nope, that's with the bra, but it doesn't matter. Okay, what I'm going to do, just because I didn't bring up the right one, is I'm just going to black out my bra and copy this. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to go to a new layer, but on my layer box, I'm going to go down here to click this layer. I'm going to go to my color select tool. I'm going to bring my threshold up, and I'm going to select the white. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back over here, select the transparent layer, and I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to anchor that, okay? Now, just make sure you're on this layer, copy, and paste. And it puts it in the exact right spot because you have it on a whole entire layer instead of just. So I'm going to just anchor that onto there, and you can see I have my underwear, this little black part, and then I have my fit, okay? Now, so I can still see my fit. Okay, now I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to click the top one, make sure I'm on that, add another layer. I'm going to go to my white brush. I'm going to make my brush about 24, okay? Now, on here, the first thing I want to do is keep my sleeves. So I'm just going to bring my arrow all the way up so I can drag all the way across from the top. And all I'm going to do is add a white layer. I'm just going to go all the way across. I'm not going to worry about it. Now here you got to be a little more careful, but we already know that the back of our fit, we do want to keep the entire back. So, because it isn't going to show anyway, so we don't got to get fancy with it, so we might as well keep the whole thing. Now you just click, and if you want to, you can drag over and make sure you get the very edge. And then you just hold your shift down, and you make sure you get all the purple, and you go around. I kind of go outside of it to make sure that you get all of the purple. Now for now, I am going to not make my cleavage really. I'm not going to worry about my cleavage yet. I'm just going to go to the middle. There's a line going down. See the line? But it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go down to the middle, and then I'm just going to go over the top of my underwear. Keep holding my shift down. I'm going to go to the edge, and then go back up to the top. And then go to my bucket fill it, take my paintbrush, and go along the edges and make sure these are all filled in. And then I'll just take my rectangle select here to just drag it down on this edge and fill it. And then I anchored that. Anchoring, all you do is just click it. Just click outside of whatever's highlighted. Okay, so now you go to your layer and you duplicate your layer. Go to your layer, transform and flip it, and it's on the other side. You want those to be merged, so I'm going to merge it. And I don't know why, but this side is showing up a little bit. Just paint over that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my black paint, and I'm going to add another layer so I can manipulate it. I'm going to make my brush pretty big. Go down a little bit, because this is where our cleavage needs to go. Let me look at my fit. This is something that you want to get an idea. Where's our little fit? Okay, so she doesn't come down into cleavage. She just comes down a bit, so I'll go there. And I just kind of centered it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. Maybe not quite that big. Why do I keep going to the same two sizes? Let's just try 4. I'm just going to do it the hard way. One little dot at a time. Okay. Right there. That looks nice. Now, because you just used one little dot, it should be very smooth. If it isn't smooth, I'll just show you a little trick. I'm going to merge this down so that layer, because we want our opacity all in the same layer. In fact, and I don't know why that looks like it's black right there. I'm going to click this layer. That should be. Click this layer. Click. It's still doing the same thing. Now it's see-through, but it took away my underwear. Huh. I don't want that transparent layer on there. Oh well, it doesn't matter. You know what? It doesn't even matter. I was going to do something, but you know what? I'm going to just merge all these together because it's white, except for that one right there. I'm going to click this bottom one. I'm going to add a new layer in between the two. I'm going to go to Edit, fill it with black, click the top one, and merge it. So now it's all black and white. Okay, I'm just going to name this the same thing. I'm just going to resave it, the same exact thing. And now I'll show you why I wanted that to be in one layer. I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to go to this second layer here. I'm going to go up here to select by color. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to my top layer, and I'm going to go to my edit and paste it and anchor it. Now you have your white on a transparency. See? And that way you can work with this without having to worry about that black background anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is put it on and see what she looks like. We're going to go to our underwear and put it in. And she goes here. And if you want to see what it looks like for your top, you just go to your dress and put some black in there for now. And then you'll be able to see how the cleavage will look once it loads. Okay, so it turned out pretty good. It's pretty much in the exact right spot. The only thing that you want to fix on this is these, but you might not even have to because the jacket might cover those up. But as you can see where these meet right here, in the front you would probably want to go over about 1 pixel on each side. Okay? Now what I was going to show you, if you do have jagged edges, I forgot to tell you, is you can go to this transparent layer, go to filters, go to blur, Gaussian blur. If you, and see there's a black on the back of this and I don't know why. But then there shouldn't be. It should be completely transparent. And I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt our fit any. But basically you go to your Gaussian blur and make it and blur it to a 1. And it will smooth some of these jaggedy lines out and it won't really make that much of a difference. But like I said, if you want these to match a little bit more, and I don't really know that it's going to make that much of a difference. This see-through line here, well, let me just go 1 pixel over from it, okay? And fill it in with white, and then maybe 1 pixel over. Do you understand what a pixel length is? Okay, so, and then fill that with white, and then see. You have to kind of judge it. You get used to judging how much it is, and it isn't. Sometimes you're not right, and sometimes you are. It just depends. So, but we can look real quick and see. See how it meets a little better. Yes. Well, this is when you make things like this, and that's why I'm trying to teach you the little tiny little details. If you have a little mistake like that, and I do it, and I have mistakes in my fits, and if I notice it right off, I try to fix it. If I try to fix it and I can't fix it after 50 billion times, I might even let it slide. But you'll see the really big devs very seldom let anything slide. Those little tiny little details like that, too many of those in your fit and it's not going to be high quality, okay? So this turned out to be a corset, all right? So now what you're going to do is you're going to texturize your corset, and you're going to go here. We're just going to do our underwear first, and then we're working on our skirt and jacket. So we want a nice pink, so I'm going to go to my reds. I'm going to go from my reds to shades of pink. Do you want a different shade of pink or the same shade of pink as that lady had? Let me a darker pink than this. This is like it's a not a coral, but it's a pink, but got a coral shade to your pink. So let me see. This is more of a purpley pink. See, you can put it next to it and see. We can go to our colors and start looking. If you slide it over a bit, and now you're getting into a red pink, you can go up here and make it pinker. This is about the same shade, but a little darker. You want lighter, darker, or... Okay. So we can just use this one. And so now we're just going to go to our color select. And we're going to select our white. And we're just going to fill it. See, there's that shading underneath there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to this. I'm going to get rid of the shading. It's bugging me. I don't know why my transparency is shaded. But I'm going to go to my color select. I'm going to bring my threshold down. And I am going to clear it. There. And now it's black again. And my pink isn't pink. I'm going to color select this. And fill it. There's my pink. Okay. I don't know why I had a black shade over the top of everything. That doesn't, I don't know. Okay, so now, as you can see, it's on a transparency. So you can take these off. It's on a transparency, just to give you an idea. And we want to add some shades, so we're going to go to a new layer. You don't have to worry about the underwear. The underwear's not going to show. So I want to give it a gloss. Before I add my layer, I'm going to give it a gloss. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my sleeves on a different texture. I'm going to add a layer. I am going to copy this layer. Actually, I didn't even need to do that. I'm going to undo all that, and I am just going to duplicate this layer so I have two layers. On this layer, I'm going to remove this. Clear. Now I have one with just sleeves and one with just, the other. Okay. So on the bottom layer, I'm going to take my little thingamajigger. It's called a rounded edge. And I'm going to do more with this than just this, but I'm going to take my opacity down on it. I'm going to go to overlay, and this will give it a shimmery effect, okay? Like a satiny look. See how it did that? Yep, she loves this. It's like her favorite thing to do. Now I'm going to go to the sleeve one, and I'm going to go up and down on it. So I'm going to select it so I don't go up and down on the entire texture. And I'm going to go up and down so it goes across like that. Okay, so now you have a little satiny effect, but we're going to do more to it than that, so don't worry. That's not the only thing we're going to do. Okay, now I'm going to go to the bottom one, and I'm going to go to Filters, Decor, Add a Bevel. I'm only going to add a bevel to a 1, make sure Work on Copy is not checked. I did it to a 1, and then I go to Layer, Transform, Flip Horizontally, and repeat. And then transform, flip horizontally, get it back. Okay. And then you can, we're going to do this to our sleeves, but we're going to wait a minute. Now, this beveled this little edge right up in here. All of this, it beveled, but those aren't going to show, so don't worry about it. And it beveled on the edges, but it's not going to show, so don't worry about it. That gives you sort of like a little hemline or a little seam, okay? And you can see it up here. So now we need to add a layer. So I'm going to click this top layer, add a layer, and the breasts are, gotta look at her real quick. They're down pretty far from her curve. They're probably down here somewhere, okay? So I'm going to bring my brush up just a tad bit bigger, make a dot, go to Layer, go to Duplicate my layer, Layer, Transform, Flip Horizontally. I'm going to merge that layer together, go to Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And I'm going to bring this up to 20. I'm going to try 25. Okay, now those are going to be very, very bright. So I'm going to take my opacity down on it just a bit. And another thing you can do is use a very light pink, and I'll show you real quick the difference. Sometimes it looks a little more realistic, but you don't want to change the colors of your pink a lot. So you're going to go to your pink. It's this pink here, I believe. And I'm going to pick that. Maybe a little lighter. That one. Go back to my brush. I think it's down here a bit. Might make it even a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to duplicate, transform, flip, merge, go to my filters, go to blur, Gaussian blur, make it 25, and then you can still, it's up to you what kind of a look you want. You can take your opacity down on it. It's just whatever look you like the best. Now, and if it still isn't the right color that you like, you can always go to colorize. Find yourself your little pink. You go to your reds, take your lightness up, take your saturation up, and go up and down with it wherever. I have my saturation all the way down. Okay, we're on orangey. And you can play with your colors. There's pink. There you go. We're going to try that. Okay, now I think that will look better. If not, we can always bring our opacity up and down, but the color looks better with it. Now you can go to New Layer. Go back to your pink. So we're on our pink, and I'm going to pick that. Like a almost blackish pink. Take my brush, bring down the scale. And what I like to do is go underneath, about just under the breast, about in the middle of that dot, but under the breast. And then make an arc. Okay? And if you want a thicker arc, you can. And if you want your arc to go over a little bit more, you can. It's up to you. But I don't like going over too far. And then duplicate your layer. What am I doing? Flip that one over on the other side, merge that down, and then blur. This, I usually go to about a 19 on this blur. And then take your opacity down so it's not so dark. Okay? Now we can check it out and see what we're looking like. And we got to change the name, don't forget. So we're just going to keep the same name. Just click right in between the two. And put texture next to your name. And then put that in our texture. I'll call it Divine. And there it is. We'll see if our breast highlights and shades are in the right spot, and if not, we move them. Okay, and I think they're in the right spot. Okay, so now you want to add some wrinkles. Yay. Okay, now I'm going to look at my picture again. This is my little inspiration. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got 4 little wrinkles. And they kind of go. Now, of course, her breasts are smaller. And you do have to keep in mind with this size and everything that yours are this is a very fitted top. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our white paint. They're also, let's see, well, we'll try it at a 20 and see. Yeah, 20 looks fine. Alright, so we're going to do one side. Middle one's longer. So we're going to start here and make a shorter one, and then go next to it and make a longer one. And then I am going to duplicate the layer and move the one over just a tad. Go to bucket fill, make my paint that dark color. Now you can do it in your black and white. Sarai teaches it in black and white. I do it both ways, but we're going to try this with our color. Sometimes you get a little more realistic with your color. Now on your layer box, Sarai teaches this differently. I'm going to teach you the easy way. You're going to click that top layer. See? I'm gonna use my arrow key to move it down. Sarai stacks. Does she teach the arrow key? Because I taught her the arrow key. She stacks it. Lorna taught you. I know. Lorna's sneaking it in. She's sneaking in my classes. She's like, don't do that. Don't stack that thing, girl. Move the arrow key. She probably listens. She probably watches my tapes and she hears all the stuff I say. Okay, so then you're going to click this layer, the top layer again, and it's going to be your white layer. See now, and you're going to just merge. So that's so much easier, right, Sarai? Right? Anyway. She's just used to doing things the way she does them. Okay, so now you want your brush to be not that big. Okay, about that big. And oops, I went over too far. These ones, we kind of want them to be straight up and down. So I'm going to be careful with that. Okay. Now I did that. I'm going to go to my filters, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm going to bring it to a 3 and see if it's too blurry. Nope, it looks like it might be fine. And then I'm going to go back to my brush. I'm going to go to my mode, put it on overlay, bring my brush way up, and go 1, 2, 3. Take my opacity down so it looks more like a wrinkle and not a big bump. And then I'm going to duplicate, transform, and flip. I'm going to merge that together. Okay? Well, I'm going to look at it. Lots of looking. That's what we do. And the wrinkles need to be less in your face. I think they need to go up a little more and maybe even add another or go in a little more. So we have an inspiration. That doesn't mean we have to do it exactly the way that they did it. So what I'm going to do is I undid that layer and I'm going to move it up a little more. And then I'm going to take my opacity down on it a little bit more. And now I'm going to duplicate and put it over there. And I'm going to merge that, but I'm going to add another couple of wrinkles. So I'm going to take this and put it back on normal. Bring this back down to 20. And put it back on white. Actually, I'm going to bring it down a little more so it's skinnier. I'm going to bring it down to a 15. And I'm just going to add one more wrinkle. So duplicate the layer, move it over a little bit, bucket fill it, put that one down and merge it down. Same way you did the other. Really carefully because you kind of want these to go up and down. Do that. Go to our blur, Gaussian blur it to 3. Go back to overlay. 1, 2, 3. Bring it down to about where the other ones are at. Duplicate it, and I still think it's a little bit darker, but we're going to check that out. Not all wrinkles are the same, but I'm going to I am going to take the opacity down just a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you can add some little wrinkles across too. It's up to you. You would go back to your, well, you're going to add another layer. Go back to our brush. Go back to about 20. Start there. I'm on overlay. I'm going to go above her breast. Do a straight line. Duplicate the layer. Okay, click your top one. Click your top one, go over here, merge it down. Get your smudgy tool. Smudge those across. Now this is a little different. You might want to slightly curve them and kind of push those colors in together. I'm trying to do it as neat as I can. And I'm trying to thin it out. Okay. Okay, then when you get that done, you go to your blur again. Gaussian blur it to a 3. It might, this is going all the way from one breast to the other, so go to scale layer. I'm going to bring it down to 200 and see if that is a little bit, still is. I'm going to bring it down even a little bit more, scale layer, and go to, no, let's try 150 first. Okay, so that's kind of in between your breasts. So go here, go to your overlay, bring your brush up. 1, 2, 3. We're going to take our opacity way down. I got to kind of sit back from it and look a little bit. Even down more. And duplicate that layer. You can move it underneath. You can also flip it so that it's not quite uniform. No. And they still might be a little dark, I'm not sure. I'm going to duplicate one and put some down here. And go to my layer, scale that layer. I'm going to click my chain. I'm going to leave my height the same and make it just a little bit wider. 150, I'm going to try 175. So it lengthened it. Duplicate that one. Move it underneath. If you really want to get funky with it, you could put some going sideways in there too if you want. Okay, they don't all have to be straight across. It's up to you. The fit is going to kind of cut off about right here with your skirt. And you're going to have a jacket going down, so you don't have to put anything on the back. We're not done with this, but for now, I'm just going to save it and go to jacket. And the reason is I want to add this over the top of my jacket after I make it, because we still have some more shading to do. But open it. And I would lower the opacity on those. And see, I would actually bring these ones up, because on the extra, see how it curves in on the breast? So I wouldn't actually put those right over the top of the breast. So those ones, you got to find them. There's one, and then there's the other. Okay, so you click the layer. I would bring it above the breast, and then click the other one and bring that one above too. And what else do we have in here? Well, we can probably leave the rest the same. So there's the one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 merge, 2, 3, 4, and 5 merges, and that should be all of. And it's not. So what did we merge? What did we merge? We merged some other stuff. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where are they at? There they are. They're at the top. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There they are. I'm going to make sure I'm on that layer. Take my opacity down even more. Okay. Now when you put wrinkles on the back, make sure that they're lined up. That's another part of seamless. But we don't need them on the back of this, but we are going to do them on the back of the jacket. So never fear, you will figure out how to do those. You've put them on the back? Okay. Okay. But none of this is going to be seen because you're going to have a jacket over the top. So I'm going to stop the tape. We'll call this our underwear tape.